Okay. Let's go. Let's G to the O.
Hey there, welcome back. This is the Wellbeing Life Podcast where we have intentional conversations, unpacking real life experiences and or stories of just ordinary people like us, everyday life, and their journey through life. Through life. Today we have, once again, the amazing, the privilege of having and hosting distinguished guest, Daryl Canty, a renowned relationship expert and author of 3 insightful books on relationships.
Come on, people. Come on. It's not me.
His expertise in fostering healthy connections has touched the lives of many, and we're excited to dive into, once again, the wisdom he brings to the table. So join us as we explore the keys, once again, to well-being in relationships with the accomplished author, Daryl Canty.
The who, the man, the myth, and the legend. Come on, get out of here. It's all fake. It's hype.
Hi guys, I'm Regina, also known as Heidi, as you guys know, and this is my podcast. Today we are going to delve into, once again, the Ask Daryl segment. We are going to finish up asking some questions that was asked for us to ask Daryl from other people, and we're going to jump right in. Daryl, are we ready, Daryl?
Yes, we're born ready.
Born ready. So Daryl was born ready. So our first question from our guest is, in your experience, what are some common challenges couples face, and how can your advice help them navigate these issues?
Am I getting paid $1 per question?
Absolutely.
We agree to.
Absolutely.
Okay, so of course, communication is always a number one go-to or number two go-to for relationships, concerns, conflicts, and issues. And this wonderful book will help identify and navigate to improve on your communication skills. Now, one of the key issues of bad or lack of communication is understanding the person that you're communicating to. And sometimes we blame communication on things that's not. Communication is the issue or the problem or the root. It's because things didn't get communicated was based on some kind of behavior or some kind of habit or some kind of past environment or mindset or concept that one is living in. Did I say too much? That sounds like garbage. But yeah, so I'm gonna give you an example. I mean, I'm new at dating, brand spanking new. Like that kind of new. So new at dating, and I communicate. I have some issues and problems on texting. So I'll say in the beginning of a relationship or in pursuing a relationship, I'll say, you know what, I'm bad at texting. I don't like texting. I'm not good at texting. I don't look at my phone. I watch my phone. Blase. And a young lady would text me, and I won't see the text, or I won't respond back to the text. Like if you text me in the morning, and I don't see that text to the night, I might text something else and not respond to the previous text in the morning. That's not a communication, that's a behavior problem. Because in my mind, it ain't the morning no more. So why am I responding to something you said 5 hours ago that's not relevant right now?
So if she said something like, "Good morning, how you doing?" You didn't respond to the nighttime. What would that look like for you when you do respond?
I'll respond to something either after that text, if it was one, or I would just respond in, "Hi, how you doing? What's going on?" Or I just woke up, or I'm doing this. Right. I wouldn't respond to the good morning. I know that sounds very rude. No. That does sound rude.
No, you wouldn't say good morning this evening, but you would say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I was a little busy. I just getting to your text." You just was like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like as if that text never took place.
Well, number one, I'm changing my mindset. It's a concept because I just don't respect texting when it comes to that relating. So I know I'm old school. I would tell everybody who knows me, friends, family, and so forth, other than business-related situations, I would tell them, please don't text me, call me. Because if you do text me, sometimes I don't respond at all. You can verify that. You might send me a text and you get nothing back.
Like 3 days sometimes.
Easy. I ain't say all that.
Yeah,
Easy.
it is.
Easy. Thank you, audience. Thank you. So anyway,
but
that's a
when I see
behavior thing. It's not the fact that I'm trying to ignore you or trying to be disrespectful to you, although it may come off as ignoring and disrespectful. It's just that my mind concept is, I saw the text. Nothing was warrant me to respond at that time.
that it was an emergency. So what I'm saying is, with that, I know you. When I send you something, usually it's like a podcast, and you get to it when you get to it. Because I know when you get your downtime or whatever, I want you to take a look at this is a good episode. When you get a chance, take a look at it.
But the key
so
was,
I know that.
You said
so when you send it. No, when you send it to me, but I know that because I know you. So when you're getting to meet someone, they don't know that they're feeling a little disrespectful.
I'm telling them.
So that's what I mean. So when at that nighttime, when you respond to her at night, and if she would have got offended, it'd be like, "I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with this. This is new to me." Then after that, it turns everything around. So texting can be okay.
It should be.
It should be.
But I'm starting to be. I mean, that's a behavior problem. That's borderline. You should know me by now. Problem.
You should know by now.
You know how people when you get.
After
that's a bad.
time,
That's a bad thing when people say you should. I don't say that, but that could be related to that.
What they say. Like,
so
you should know that
by,
I don't do texting.
Yeah, and that's not healthy when you're trying to build a strong bridge. Of
but I also believe that if you know your guy isn't that guy, don't text nothing important to him because you.
Well, it's beginning, so it's not really.
Right,
I'm the guy, she's the girl yet. So she's trying to figure out is he really interested.
And that's why I'm saying it's going to switch around because
if they have enough patience to hang on.
Or if she knows that's a problem with her, she would say, "Hey, I know now how you see it. If it's something important, I would definitely call you. However, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I would like you to at least say, hey, I'll get back to you later."
Yeah. And in the book, it helps identify and recognize behavior as well as. So that also plays a part in the communication.
Yeah.
The way one person, the concepts of what they think and believe, their behavior,
how they can,
their environment they were used to being in or around, all those things affect their communication.
Okay. That's true.
And what was the second part of that question? True. So I can get back to it.
So,
get that second dollar.
And how can your advice help them navigate these issues?
Well, we just talked
about that. So you just talked about that. You're done. So anymore.
So that's $3. You want me to keep going?
Okay. How do cultural and societal changes impact modern relationships, and how can individuals adapt to these dynamics?
I would say the first thing is social media, which I do touch on that.
Modern day relationships.
Yeah, social media, because everything is.
A lot of people say that today.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm glad I don't have a addiction or habit in social media. I know what I'm doing. I'm probably supposed to, be more involved. But when you are really involved in social media, it kind of separates you from your reality relationship, and you have all these social media relationships. So the more time you don't spend on social media, and because of the modern day time, it's almost expected. That's a part of how we live in our societies online. There's an online life, there's a real life. So you got to be able to balance that, and the person you with have to be able to accept and balance that. So that's one of the things I like to ask questions in the beginning to see how much time people spend on social media. So
as well as how do they communicate? Like, how do you see? Like, I find this as a concern. If you're upfront in the beginning, like, I'm not good at texting, it ain't the thing that I do. Do you have a problem with it? And if so I could be mindful.
Well, we just talked about that. So
so
even though I said that
new modern day relationship stuff,
it's still we're in that world. So until that person really gets to either know you or accept that, or you guys find ways to overcome that, that's going to be an issue.
How would you think an individual should adapt to those dynamics?
One, of course, communicating.
Like you just said.
And also, I think most of that's going to rely on the man. But first communicating, and then also the man reassuring that woman if those are issues in social media thing, how to navigate around that. So if it's too much time spent, you need to reduce your time on social media. Or if one person is more social media than the other person, see if there's a balance there. Or that could be a compatibility problem. Because one of the core parts of compatibility, too, is money management, social media, child rearing. Those are compatibility issues. So the way around that, navigating that, I would suggest, is to bring that in the forefront as early as possible. But if you're already in a relationship years in, then that's, you got to go through some steps in therapy or write down some stuff. I mean, I have some breakdowns in there in the book but it depends on how deep it is. Because once you get deep in relationships where your behavior is offending me, where it's starting to bring animosity and resentment, and all these things, that's a different book. You know, you get more deep into that.
Okay.
This is more preventive maintenance first, and also practical.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so moving on. Your books may cover various aspects of relationships. So, can you highlight a few specific topics or concepts that you find particularly important for listeners to explore?
The self-awareness chapter might be one of the most important, if not the top three. Most of us in this country are unaware, and I'm sorry, not self-aware. Mm-hmm. What I sell. So if you're not self-aware, you might not know how you're behaving, how you're thinking, how you're responding or acting to yourself or that person. So becoming self-aware is a huge. That's the first part of the book where it says, "Where do I begin?" When you start this process.
Yeah, chapter 11.
Self-awareness. Yeah.
Thank you. I believe there's a lot of books out on self-awareness that you really just you don't know where they was going with that one. So you should be very particular about that. Also, like as a relationship expert, how do you approach the balance between individual growth and maintaining a strong partnership? So as a relationship expert, how do you approach the balance between individual growth and maintain a strong partnership? That is really good.
Well, first of all, that starts at the beginning. So the individual growth never stops.
Right.
Exactly. So self-help, self-awareness, and self-development is a constant thing, should be, in everyone's life who wants to be a better person. So the growth part is most people assume, in my definition, that we need to grow together, right? And you don't grow together, you start together. So what I mean by that, if I find out you have the basic principles that I have, the basic belief that I have, the basic behavior that I have, in the same lifestyle or similar lifestyle I have, there's no way we can do but grow together. We're cohabitating, because we're spending time, interest, and efforts, and everything is shared in that same concept, and it's like you move in the same direction. Mm-hmm. So it's not like we're gonna grow together. We're starting together in the right place. Now, if you're a couple and you're opposites who have attracted and got together, that means it's going to be a change involved. Somebody going to have to make a change. And that's why I'm not an advocate for compromise. I know the world keeps saying compromise, communication. I'm not an advocate for compromise, because the true definition of compromise means that I have to give up something I want, need, or desire, right? Give it up for something. So because you want, need, or desire, and it means that either I'm compromising, you're losing. I'm winning when you're losing, and you're winning when I'm losing.
Mm-hmm. Somebody is not getting,
So true compromise is someone is always losing when you're when you're in a compromising situation, because you guys are giving up something to get something together. And I don't advocate that, because it's not healthy, and it doesn't last. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's resentment, right?
That's fair to ask you. Do you think that's part of some of the resentment that starts to rise?
That's the foundation of resentment. Is compromise.
Yeah.
There's no the only other side of that coin is failure.
What about compromising? You basically talking about the difference between the value side of it, because a lot of people be thinking like compromising. It'd be like they'll say like peace or stuff like little stuff. And I'm like, that's not what nobody talks about.
That's not compromise. So most guys don't care where you want to eat, what you want to do.
They're just like, okay, you just whatever. You can just do that. Those aren't big things. Compromise. And a lot of people will come out with things
that's just
like that.
Cooperating and getting along. Compromise is if you want to have kids, I don't.
Right. How's like real stuff, like values, all the future.
You want to live over there, I don't. Yeah. You want me to be the provider, and I don't. You know, it's strong seated things that it's not going to work. Those things you really need, really want, or really desire. If you compromise those things, there's nowhere to go.
But you're going to be miserable too. Who wants to live like that? And this is supposed to be
that's 51% of the population. They'll tell you how they work.
Yeah, I'm serious, but it's like I look at relationships like this now. It's so stupid. But I always look at myself like, oh my God, I'm gonna be with you till I die. So if that's our goal, then this.
But most people don't approach a relationship like that.
And I'm like, oh my God.
It's like it's the same thing with monogamy. Back 100 years ago, monogamy was till I die.
Right.
Relationships was till I die. And monogamy is right now. I ain't with nobody but you until you get to tripping, slipping, and then dipping.
I'm out. Like I call it a la carte. We're dating a la carte today. Okay, thank you for that. So, have you encountered any surprising or unexpected stories or experiences from readers who applied your advice to their relationship?
I'm waiting for it, not yet. We need more readers.
Not even
Get
like
the book.
your
Quit playing.
sister-in-law either.
Well, so read that again. Make sure
Okay.
I include it.
So, because she's so into it now, I wonder if she shared any stories. So, and your daughter-in-law, have you encountered any surprising or unexpected stories or experiences from readers who applied your advice to their relationships? Like when your daughter-in-law, some of the advice she take from you now. Remember at first, beginning now, and she's getting ready to. She's evolving. She's
I don't think it's surprising. She was more surprised that it was me writing it, probably. But
really, now that's your daughter-in-law. I mean, your sister-in-law, right?
You're talking
Was
about
more surprised, but your daughter-in-law was surprised.
Yeah, no, my sister-in-law was surprised too. I don't know if she was surprised, more denied.
Yeah, more like who? Yeah.
But
so that's what I was like when you said that with Mia.
Yeah, she actually, unfortunate because she's more of an advocate now. So talking about my sister.
Yeah, I know.
But
she's your biggest cheerleader. Well, one of them.
One of them. God's my biggest cheerleader.
Okay.
That's your cheerleader?
You finna go there.
No, the Angels.
The Angels.
You're too big for that. You're too big for that. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So moving on. In the ever evolving landscape of technology, how do you address the influence of social media and digital communications, which is like what we were just talking about, on relationships in your work?
Well, I think it's very dangerous, especially for men, because we gravitate toward our eyes. We're motivated by our eyes, and we are sometimes inspired by our eyes. So that means, there's a lot of stuff out there, constantly 24 hours a day. It wasn't like it was 50 years ago. So temptation is moment by moment. It's not once a week, once a year. So I would say that's why I try to stay away from it too. I'm a weak man too. Who am I? WEAK, weak. No, anyway. So I would advise to be conscious and monitor yourself. Now, if you really seeded into your spiritual foundation, it's not gonna matter where you at. It's still not good to be around temptation.
Yeah.
Because we are still weak. That's why we
the
have to
flesh is
constantly
still what
recognize.
it is.
Exactly.
And you gotta constantly.
That's why I don't carry my flesh everywhere I
go. Stay mindful.
Because it's weak. Stay focused. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think that's great. Because I just think it's great. Social media.
We're gonna take a break after this next question, right?
Yeah. Actually, if you want to, we can do it now. Would you like to take a break?
Let's take a quick pause for the cause. Stay focused. This is part 1. We'll come back to part 2. We appreciate it.